Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That was Robyn Hitchcock live in session with the I can't talk tonight, with the Sir Tommy Shovel. It's your fault for doing tongue twisters for me. Will you ring me up in the future and just ask me if the song titles are all right and I can manage them?
I could do, yes. I could. I think it was during lockdown I would have had to have telegraphed you. But yeah, I could.
Well, it's very considerate of you. So, the album, Shufflemania. Okay, I've seen you describe it as happier than the last. So how it's but how come?
Well, it's probably further from whatever emotional explosion triggered the previous record. I think as the fallout begins to settle, the danger is that you get bland because you get comfy. But there's so many disasters flying about. There's always something to keep you on your toes. So.
Right, and so I did read also that, previously you've kind of sat down with the intention of writing, and now you're just kind of a bit more relaxed about it and wait for the songs to actually come to you.
Well, they turned up. I actually kind of given up looking, and they began to appear in January 2020 very deliberately. Songs are like cats; they just have a trajectory of their own. And you'll suddenly find them rubbing against your ankles or sitting on your head, and you go, "Oh, ho, here it is." I take dictation from these things now.
So, all right then. And would you have been more disciplined then in the past?
No, but I was probably younger, so I might have been smarter. I mean, there's a point where you just have to let these things come and land on you, and they see. My theory is that the songs are going on all the time, but mostly you can't access them. If you fall asleep, sometimes do you ever find that you start dreaming and then you wake up again? So you haven't quite gone to sleep, but you've suddenly been in a room you're not really in, talking to someone you don't know, and then whoomph, you're back again. You're Marc Riley. Do you ever get those little wall? You're suddenly somewhere else for a moment.
Yeah, of course, I know what you mean. You're in a spot of delirium.
Yes.
I'm often in that, as you've probably noticed tonight. I mean, but have you heard a great song by Bill Callahan called I'd Mar Clack Shaw?
I think my wife Emma has played it to me, yeah.
Right, which is all about dreaming that you've written the best song ever and waking up halfway through the dream and writing it down, and when he woke up in the morning it was just nonsense.
Oh, God. Unlike Keith Richards and Paul McCartney, who both dreamed their great riffs, didn't they?
Is that right?
Keith dreamed up Satisfaction.
Right, okay.
In the days when he used to go to sleep on tour, and he woke up and, it was going... So... he woke up Charlie, whoever, and said, "Transcribe this for me, boy."
Right. Okay.
And then Sir Paul woke up one morning and he'd had this tune in his head. I don't know what it was really. It was something, did I write this, George,
I like the way you call him Sir Paul. That's very respectful.
Well, you never know when he's going to pop up.
No, that's very true. So, have you ever sat down and totted up how many songs you've written? Because there's a fair few, mate?
Millions. I mean, I always went for titles I thought nobody else would want. So Kimberly here did very well with Walking on Sunshine.
Yeah.
It was a song that a lot of people would like, and it worked. I went for songs like It's Not Just the Size of a Walnut and Where Are the Prawns? Because I thought, no one's going to want this stuff. And I was right. Here I am centuries later.
There's a method in your madness, you would have to say.
Well, it's really sweet because some of the old guys still kind of come and join me for these things. But, I think, okay, no one's going to write a song called the Sir Tommy Shuffle, and I'll have fun getting... Marc Riley to say it. So let's go.
Yeah, I know. You got me there, mate. And so the album, again, going back to Shufflemania, it features lots of collaborations on there. You've got Johnny Marr and Sean Ono Lennon, and you've got Kelly Stoltz, a previous session guest of ours.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the guys in the room with you tonight. Did you set out to collect these talents, or did it just kind of happen?
Well, the great thing was that I recorded it at home in Nashville during lockdown, and everybody else was locked down at their homes around the world. Some up the road, like Brendan Benson, who's, in the Raconteurs and does his own stuff.
Yeah.
Brendan was only maybe 3 miles away. Kimberly was over in Cambridge. Johnny was in Manchester. they couldn't get away. So nobody refused to be on my record because they were all stuck at home.
They were a captive audience.
They were a captive audience. I'd never get them together now.
Right, okay. And you mentioned there Nashville, but you're not living in Nashville full-time now, are you?
I'm not anywhere full-time. Really. I've got one leg in Nashville and one leg in London, and I just sort of lurch between the two. But as you can see tonight, we're in Manchester. Woo,
yeah, you most certainly are. And so what was the driving force behind the album itself?
Well, the songs began to appear. You know, I'd sort of been working on a record of collection of piano songs I never managed to finish for some reason, and I was always on tour, and then come 2020, it all changed. I went to Mexico and I got a massage in a tree house that was called a feathery serpent god massage, because it's the epicenter of the flying serpent, Kukulkan Quetzalcoatl, as he's known locally.
Right.
And, he's one of those all-purpose flying phallic fertility, whatever you want, I got it, gods, really. You want to be on the right side of him. Anyway, I had this massage and I went to his palace the next day. All the rooms were like, the doors were only 4 foot high, so everyone was really small in those days, like the early astronauts,
Right.
Everyone was tiny. And, of course, they were dead by the time we got there, but they still had the tiny doors. And I thought nothing of it. And then I was sitting in a hotel room 3 weeks later, and bang, this song, The Feathery Serpent God, just marched up to me and sort of wrote itself in my book, And I thought, oh, okay.
That was nice of it.
It was nice of it. And then I got another one on a plane a few weeks later. And then I had a little machine that I recorded on at home that fits into a cornflakes packet. I mean, you don't have to have a cornflakes packet to use it, but it fits. You think of the days of the Stones mobile. We got the Stones mobile, that kind of thing. But now you just put this little thing called a Zoom on the table, and you've got enough. You can send it off to anybody. Kimberly, Johnny Marr, Morris, Morris did a vocal in his attic in Gloucester. So it just keeps changing. I don't know what will happen next.
Long may it continue, mate, I tell you that. And when we were talking before the session as well, you mentioned some Soft Boys reissues?
Yeah, we're trying to... The Soft Boys record that actually is posthumously the grooviest, well, the one that people like, is called Underwater Moonlight, and we've got 9/10 of it. But our late bass player Matthew did a little substitution of one track. He used a different take from the take that was on the original record, and if you use that and it's not the original record, everyone's going to go, no, we don't want to pay for your remastered special, go away.
Yeah, no,
so
that was a bit of mischief there, wasn't it?
So, and he's now beyond the grave, so cannot be touched, bless him. And so my wife Emma Swift, who is a recording artist but also runs our label, kind of had a meltdown, and then we're going to get it. I'll get you a copy when it's done. It'll be
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and so are you optimistic about finding the correct version of the missing track? I mean, I'm sure there'll be somebody out there. Your fans are really, really feverish. There'll be somebody out there with it. You can guarantay it.
You think someone's out there with the master tape? Wouldn't surprise me, actually.
Could be in this day and age.
It's just you have to bake them as well, But it's your history winds up on all these things that you can't play it on anymore, and we've got hundreds of gnarly old tapes. But anyway, they're all about to come back into my house and make it completely uninhabitable, and then they'll be shipped to Nashville and processed.
Well, keep us posted.
Oh, I will. You're going to get loads of stuff. But yeah, there's going to be lots of old bits and pieces, yeah.
Fabulous, okay. And to get to the tour then, so you are playing on the 22nd, a couple of days' time, Comedia in Brighton, the 25th Alexander Palace Theatre, 28th Liverpool Philharmonic, the 1st of March, Mono, King's Court in Glasgow, Whelan's on the 3rd of March in Dublin, the Courthouse is in Bangor, that's on the 5th of March, and then you go off to America. That's the list I've got here.
That's right. The one on the 25th in Ali Pali, London, has got Morris, Kim and Lee, and also Terry Edwards and Mark Bedford. Terry says hi, by the way.
Oh, right, yeah. Send him my love, will you?
I will. And So that'll be like the rocking. It'll be like tonight's session, you know.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay.
The other ones will be somewhat quieter, but Jessica Lee Morgan is opening the show, and she's fabulous, so that'll be good.
Jessica got in touch with me today, and she told me that you performed with Holy Holy and did Soul Love at, was it Carnegie Hall? Was it in New York?
God, all those facts are accurate, and how terrifying. I did.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
they had Woody Woodminster, the original drummer.
Yeah, I know
doing
Woody.
So it's like your chance to be Dave, you know, turning round, and there he is, the same bass drum, the same drums, he's smoking the same roll-ups outside the building. Ye gods!
He's a legend, is Woody, and of course Tony Visconti in the band as well, and as you say, and Jessica Lee Morgan. Hello, Jessica. So, and she sends a love. So there you go. It's just one big loving, of course.
It is. Terry Edwards introduced us as he was in that band. Whoops. Okay.
He was, yeah, he absolutely was. Okay, so what are you going to do now for us then?
We are now going to revert into a soft boys guys and play this song "I Want to Destroy You," which belatedly became a punk hit in the United States.